especially the House of Representatives. And this morning, we'll be taking a look at the causes of these defections and the possible effects it will have on the ruling party, the All Progressives Congress, as well as how weakening is it to the opposition parties. And this morning, we're being joined by a legal practitioner, barrister Victor Giwa, who also doubles as a public affairs analyst, and a Nigerian who loves to lend his thoughts to issues of national interest. A very good morning to you, barrister. It's wonderful to have you in the studio once again.
Good morning.
It's been a minute. The last time you were here, we had quite interesting deliberations. It's been almost a month now.
Yeah, that's about the judiciary. Yeah, I can remember.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the defections at the National Assembly. It hasn't really been looking good for the opposition, the PDP, but especially the Labour Party, which has had its own fair share of lawmakers moving, defecting from the Labour Party to the All Progressives Congress. And the narrative out there is that these people rode on the back of Labour Party and bought sympathies from many Nigerians to clinch the seats that they are now sitting on. And then when they got into the National Assembly, they decided to abscond. Is that the case?
Well, thank you very much. Firstly, I think that almost all political parties right now in Nigeria,
Yes.
have their issues, and generally, it is not permissible, especially for members of the Senate and of this House of Representatives,
Yes.
or also the State House of Assemblies, for a member who is sponsored by a political party to a seat, to a constituency, to a seat, and having been elected to that seat, for the person to decamp what we call cross carpet, moves from one political party to the other. It is seen as a wrong under Section 109 and Section 68 of the Constitution.
In a nutshell, you are saying that the legality of these defections is not there.
Yes. I'm not saying yes, it's not there because the Constitution makes it very clear.
That it is not legal.
Yes, it makes it very clear the condition on the basis of which you can decamp. But a lot of politicians decamp from one political party to the other, not because haven't not met that requirement, but they just decamp because of interest. What do I mean by interest? Some members just leave a particular political party to a popular and the dominant political party just because they want to retain power. So unconstitutionally, they have used the popularity of a particular political party in a particular constituency to get into power, with the intention that having gotten into that seat, they will now join the popular party and possibly sustain that seat.
That's it.
So that has been the situation of a lot of members of political
Now, before
party.
we delve deeply into the National Assembly, let's talk about places like River State. It's no news what happened during the local government council polls, where the governor had to move his men, or the chairmanship aspirants who were considered part of his PDP camp in the state. He moved them to a different political party, and they all ran for election, swept through the state, and clinched all chairmanship seats, I think, except for one that had an APC member win the seat. Now, in such a situation, is such a move legal? And also, will they be allowed to return to the People's Democratic Party now that they have won the elections, or will they remain in the party that they have decamped to, under the orders of the governor?
Now, we have to be, I'm a lawyer, and so I look at issues legally. It is, I don't give the general opinion, I look at it constitutionally.
All right.
Now, in River State in particular, you made reference to the local government election and the movement of most of the contestants in that election
Yes.
contested under a party different from the party of the governor.
And the party that they had belonged to in the first place.
That
the defections happened just before the elections took place.
Okay, now, why I'm careful about using the word defection, and the reason is this, like I said, that's why I made reference to looking at the Constitution.
Yes.
Now, there's something about the Constitution. We must be able to look at the letters of the Constitution. Now, for you to contest for any office, you must be a member of a political party and sponsored by the political party. As a matter of fact, it didn't say, the Constitution did not say you should be a member of a political party. It said you must be sponsored
by the political
party. And if you look at Section 68 and Section 109, it said if a member to whom he has been elected into an office and sponsored by a political party leaves the political party. So there is something that there is a word we must underline.
The sponsorship.
So where I'm going is this. Is it possible that those contestants in the local government elections, while they are members of the PDP, they were sponsored by the party I
think it's AAP or APP. APP.
Sponsored, because you can have mergers. As a matter of fact, merging is one of the ground under Section 68 and Section 109 you
are looking at it from a legal perspective as a lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it from an
layman.
Investigative perspective as a journalist.
Good.
Not even a layman's perspective.
Good.
The APP is not a very popular party, nationally or even River State. They have not contested any major election in the state. And I doubt if they have the financial capacity to sponsor almost 30 local government chairmanship aspirants within the state. All of these indices, if you take a look at it, all have fingerprints of Governor Sir Siminalayi Fubara imprinted on them. Do you still think that APP took out from its coffers, from its funds, monies to sponsor almost 30 local government chairmanship aspirants for them to be elected under their umbrella as a party?
Okay, good question. And the answer also is simple. Firstly, like I made reference to, there is nothing that have shown that those candidates are, to the best of my knowledge, members of that party.
Of APP.
Yes, APP.
Because they are registered PDP party members.
Good. You see, that's where I'm going. Now, because for you to be a member of a political party, there are procedures. You go to your local government and get registered in that local government and that unit of which you belong to.
Yes.
At that point, you become a member of the political party.
If
you look at the decisions, one of the decisions in the court about this, the campaign of the members of PDP to APC.
Yes.
One of the decisions of the court, of course, not of course, I disagree with the decision, but however, the state high court one of the decisions of the court says that it is not enough for somebody to come to say that I'm a member of a political party. You must be able to show evidentially that the person did register in the register of members of the political party. And it's at that point you can be called and be seen to be a member. Now, there is no evidence except you have provided or you have seen as an investigative
journalist, yes,
to say that this candidate, now chairman, are members of YPP. Like I said, they can be sponsored by the party or by any other.
And where the funds comes from is not a matter of debate.
No, I don't know where the form comes from, except they say out where the form. Nobody have come up
as long
to
as
say
as
that
long as
this
it is the party that is sponsoring them, they are free to contest under the umbrella of the party, even though they are card-bearing members of another political party.
Yes, in that case, they'll be seen as either they have merged on that slot for the purpose.
A merger.
Yes, for the purpose not merging nationally. because you could have a consensus.
Because national mergers usually come with a change of
Name, yes.
You know,
But as I said, there could be a concession. There could be it is what we call horse trading. You could horse trade and say, okay, you can come and context on this party based on this.
Barrister Giwa, let's take a look at it from a different perspective. This has happened at the local government level in just one state, where a lot of prying eyes are not even looking into it. Let's look at it from the national level. Can a Peter Obi of Labour Party decide to contest for presidency under the People's Democratic Party if the PDP decides to sponsor him while still being a card-bearing member of the Labour Party?
Good question. Whether they can do that is a product of facts. And the factual issue will be if they close their eyes on the issue of membership, they can choose to do that. If their interests, for example,
yes,
the current minister of FCT is a member of the PDP to the best of my knowledge, but he is in the cabinet of an APC government.
A political appointment, not an elected
no,
position.
I'm coming, a political appointment. The question is, on what basis? There have never been any declaration that the two parties will come to form a
merger.
Not a merger, to form a
coalition?
A coalition government. That's the word I'm looking for, a coalition.
Yes.
But you see, so it could be based on certain understanding. However, if any of the political party disagrees with that position, it is when they disagree. For example, I thought we were going to make reference to the issue of the state, what happened in the state, in River State.
We are going to get there.
Okay.
We are going to get there.
So let me since we are going there, let me not go there until you get there. Now, so if out of an understanding, the political party can say, okay, I need you to come onto our platform.
Yes.
Why you retain the membership of your political party? It is, there's nothing that has said, there's nothing that have made it illegal.
Now this is
under the law.
This is on a gentleman arrangement level.
Thank you. I love that.
Constitutionally enshrined in our constitution as Nigerians, is this legal? Are there provisions that make all of these moves that you have analyzed from the local government level to the national level? Is there any provision that makes it legal in the constitution?
No.
It is illegal?
No, there is no provision that makes it legal, and there's no provision that makes it illegal.
It's just standing in between the line.
Exactly. Now, I will tell you the provision that makes certain situation to be illegal. When a member of a state house of assembly or the Senate who was sponsored by another party, by a party to a particular seat, and that said person becomes, using the language of the constitution, becomes a member of another political party. Now, understand the usage of the word becomes a member.
A card-bearing member.
A member. Membership is a product of facts.
Yes.
And law. Because for you to be a member, there are certain conditions you have to meet. You have to go, like I said, register in that unit, and you are seen as a member. He said if that person leaves the party that sponsored it and now becomes a member of a political party, or another political party, not the one that sponsored it, he said, except for certain conditions, the person stands to lose his seat. Now, it is not illegal as it were. What the person what happens is that the person loses his seat and not his membership.
So he will still remain a member of the political party, just not in the position that he has been elected under the new political party that he...
Yes, then the reason is because it is the party constitutionally. Yes. It is the party that sponsors candidate and not independent candidate.
which we haven't seen in Nigeria.
Which we have not seen.
Yes,
Yeah.
since
So
inception
the
of democracy.
the jurisprudence, we need that concept, is that because it is the party that sponsors and not the candidate that goes to that seat, if you now leave that party that sponsors you, that's why we call it ticket. I can't give you a ticket to go to London. You took my ticket and you want to go to Germany. Please give me back my tickets. Let me give to somebody else to go to London. So it is the sponsorship that we said no, leave that seat, so that the political party can bring its own
member
that he will sponsor or he has sponsored.
Now, in this case, final take on the local government polls in Rivers State before we move on to the State House of Assembly and the whole saga that has been brewing there with the defections that took place.
Yeah.
With your analogy and analysis right now, Barrister Giwa, is it safe to say that the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State or even nationally could decide to reclaim all the chairmanship seats that have been won by the local government chairman under the umbrella of YPP because they are still card-bearing members of the PDP? Under the gentleman agreement now.
Okay. Good question.
Because they have been given tickets. They ran for election.
Okay, now they cannot claim that.
Why?
Good question. And it shows that you are getting the gist of what I'm saying.
Okay.
It is because the only reason why they cannot claim those positions and those seats
is because they didn't run under PDP.
No, it's because it is not the PDP that sponsored them.
The YPP did. Except
there is any verifiable evidence that yes, they contested under YPP,
but they
sponsored
funds.
They were sponsored by PDP.
No,
because the operative word is sponsorship.
That is left to be determined in the courts under any election tribunal. At the state level, you were about to make a comment about the rift between Governor Siminalayi Fubara and certain factions of the State House of Assembly at the state level. Care to take us through that? Because it appears you have quite a bit of romance with the governor Siminalayi Fubara. You seem to be siding with him a lot.
No.
Or are we talking about the Fubara Wike case? Which one of these are we talking about?
No. Let me correct that feeling and impression.
Okay.
I was a lawyer to INEC.
Okay.
In one of those cases, and so which I won for INEC because some party came and brought a suit to Federal High Court, Abuja, so that the court will force INEC to declare the seats of vacant as a result of that defection. So I represented INEC, and of course we challenged the jurisdiction that shouldn't be done and all of that. Yeah. So I'm saying this just to say the part that I'm not for either of the parties. I'm just a lawyer who is just analyzing the situation as it were. Now, if you look at what happened in the State House of Assembly,
yes,
and if you look at the Constitution, Section 10, looking at in that case, the State House of Assembly, Section 109, Sub 1 now says that when there is a defection, it does not, a person does not lose his seat automatically. So, having said everything I have said so far, a member who is sponsored by a political party goes to another political party, becomes a member. Why he was sponsored into that particular seat, either in the State House of Assembly, in the House of Representatives, or in the Senate, he becomes a member. Sections in that of the Senate, Section 68(1), and in terms of the House of Representatives, Section 109 says that it is for the Senate. It is the President of the Senate that should give effect to the declaration of that seat as vacant. So what does that mean? It means, therefore, that if and until the President of the Senate, in respect to the Senate, or the Speaker of the House of Representatives, or the Speaker in the State House of Assembly, until and unless they give effect to that provision, that person will still be in that seat. or compelled by the court. So the section says that it is the president of the Senate or the speaker of the House of Representatives that shall give effect to the losing of that seat. And that therefore what it means,
removal.
Yes, what it means therefore is that until the president of the Senate in the case of the Senate, or the House of Representatives in the case of the Speaker in the case of Representative, makes that declaration that having left a political party that sponsored you, and the section 109 in terms of House of Representatives section 681 says that the Speaker or the President of the Senate shall provide evidence. What's the evidence? You were sponsored
under a
political party.
You defected.
You defected and you are now a member of this party. Based on this evidence, as the president of the Senate or the Speaker, I hereby declare your seat as vacant.
Why has that not been done in Rivers State?
I think you should ask, that question should go to the Speaker. But in the case of the Rivers State, the Speaker did declare that those persons who decamp, and let me tell you why it is different. And you will see that there's a factual difference.
Now, mind you, these guys are still holding proceedings as if they are still in power.
No, let me get to that point. I want you to. Okay. We are talking. I'm taking my time.
Let's take you one.
Yes, I'm taking my time to explain so that the members of the public can follow the trend.
All right.
So that they can get to their own conclusion based on the facts. Now, the Speaker in the case of the Rivers State House of Assembly.
Yes.
I think it's Ellis, or forgetting that his name.
Is it Amaule?
Amaule, yeah, good. Yeah. He now declared the seats of those members of the PDP vacant, haven't decamped from the party that sponsored it. And this is what they did. According to him, they went on air on their own volition to say, and they held their party card. We are now members
of the APC.
So according to him, and from the facts, there are evidence to show that these persons, it is not speculation. They came and said they have moved from a party that sponsored them to another party, and they made a declaration. Yeah. And in some cases, I was told there were also deposition in affidavits that they are now members of a particular political party. So under that circumstance, the Speaker has that right to make that declaration of vacancy in the Rivers State House of Assembly. However, I'm also aware that a state high court, is it a state high court or the federal or the court of appeal? No, court of appeal.
Yes.
I'm not mistaken. I don't want to make that mistake. Said that the deposition of in an affidavit that one is a member of a political party is not sufficient. I disagree with respect to that position, because if a person on his own volition stands up, moves to a court, deposes to an affidavit that this is what I am, that is an admission, and facts admitted need no other proof. So with respect to with respect to that decision of the court, that says that, because what the court says in that particular instance was that a mere declaration in an affidavit that a person is a member of a political party is not sufficient to grant membership to that person.
Now there's a unique trend in these defections from Rivers State to the National Assembly, especially the House of Representatives. Now in Rivers State, Amaule and his team of 24 lawmakers or so cited that the internal crisis in the People's Democratic Party is what led to their defection sometime in December 2023 or thereabout. Defection from PDP to the APC. Lawmakers who have defected from the Labour Party to the APC have also cited internal crisis within the Labour Party as the reason why they have defected from the LP to the APC. Is this really the case? Is an internal crisis enough basis, enough ground, enough reason for a lawmaker that has been elected or a political office holder that has been elected under a political party to decide to defect to another political party? And is that permissible by law? Is it enough case to be, is it enough evidence or a case to be presented in court?
You see, you are asking some very brilliant questions, and I'm really impressed, because anybody that is watching will be able to me, I'm feeling that we are doing a very good surgery on some of these issues.
Yes.
And I've been to a lot of stations. I've never gotten this kind of, so I give it to you. You've asked some very good questions. But let me put it this way.
All right.
In answering your questions, correctly so, one is just because of the way our country is now being run. The issues, the language used by the Constitution is very clear. Three conditions, situations that will permit you to move. One, if there is division in the political party.
Yeah.
Two, when there is merger. Then thirdly, if there are factions. So it is deliberate. The express mention of one is the exclusion of the other. Expresso unios es exclusions ulteriors. That is the canon of interpretation. That when the Constitution expressed a particular word, it is that it meant that particular thing. So one,
no addition.
You must not say that I left because of crisis. The Constitution did not say crisis. Division. A man and a wife can have a crisis.
Is there division in the PDP?
You must establish that there is a division. And do you know what they say? That is that is the factual situation.
Now that's
so and for them
to be to establish.
Yes, and the court. Now the reason why you need to establish that, when you say something is divided, it means there are two. There are more than one.
Yes.
Because there could be 10. Let me just see. If you say something is divided, it means that there are more than one. And you have seen a situation where we have had two political parties. I mean, we have had two sections of a political party before. I don't know if you follow the trend where you have new PDP and there was this old PDP. Yeah, exactly. If you remember that time,
I do remember. Even now,
so the old PDP,
the Wike faction, there is the Fubara faction.
So that is a division. Now, the division of a political party cannot be said that there's a division in a political party from the state, because the party is not a state party, it's a national party. So for you to establish that there is a division, it must come from the national level, like we have seen in within that 2001 that led to the 2015 election. Yes. That Goodluck Jonathan lost. There was two PDP party led by two different chairmen nationally. So that is what division is. Now, when there are factions, even there is division, then there is faction. So it follows mutati mutandi. Then the other thing is there is merger. So if it is until and unless you have been able to establish those facts that there is division, and not by speculation, there must be evidence, empirical facts to allow you to come to that conclusion. And it's not what you speculate. People will know that, yeah, there are divisions. So if you say there is division, for example, who are the two national chairmen of PDP? Do you have such?
Well, there's only one that has been hugely
so you couldn't say that there's division. You could say there are crises, but there are no division. You could say there are crises, but there is no faction.
But in the case of Labour Party, it's slightly similar to the People's Democratic Party, only that in the case of Labour Party, it appears that there is a clear-cut division and not just crisis.
Yes, because there is a party that believes in Abure. Mm-hmm. There is this other group that believes in whoever, one other.
Exactly.
And they have been in courts. And from one level of court to the other, one court order will say recognizes this. So that is enough to show that in that particular situation, there is division.
But if the Labour Party decides to go to court, having asked, the court to unseat these lawmakers who have defected. Do you see a possibility of the Labour Party perhaps winning this case against these lawmakers, maybe by any chance? If they ride on the back of public opinion, which is already against the lawmakers, considering the fact that Labour Party members give their full support to these aspirants at the time when they were aspirants, to clinch the seats at the National Assembly now.
Now, court does not take a decision based on public opinion. Court takes a decision based on facts.
But does public opinion have a certain level of influence over judgments?
It shouldn't have.
Has it ever had?
I don't know, because I've not been a judge.
Okay. Interesting. Barrister Giwa, you appear to be a little bit phased about the Labour Party situation. But one major thing that people have accused the APC of is poaching from PDP, from Labour Party, the NNPP, even ABGA. They are poaching their members, and maybe not directly poaching in some cases, but poaching by means of appointment and gradual cajoling of defections. Is this correct?
Well, again, I don't know, but I just know that politicians, people always, they like to, look at where their interests lie. They try to associate with people, they try to protect their interests,
yes,
and all of that. So it could be pushed by any political party. But what I know and I think is that every political party that wants to gain, that is in power, want to retain its power,
yes,
and those that are out of power struggle to be in power, and so they do everything that they think is necessary for them to get into power. So that could be one of the reasons why you see this horse trading and this, going back and forth between the various political parties.
So. Now, I will come back to you in just a moment. You might also note that the lawmaker representing Just South, Just East Federal Constituency Plateau State, Ajang Elia, last week announced his defection to the APC, bringing to 6 the Labour Party lawmakers that have dumped the party and defected to the All Progressives Congress. Now, others include Tochukwu Okere from Imo State, Donatus Matthew from Kaduna, Basi Ikiba from Cross River State, and as well as Yahweh Esosa from Edo, and lastly, Doliop from Plateau State. 6 lawmakers from the Labour Party leaving their camp to the All Progressives Congress. And persons have said that the APC is finding a way or plotting to poach these certain lawmakers in order to swell its numbers in the red chambers as well as the green chambers. That's talking about the national, the House of Representatives, I beg your pardon. I know we have asked whether these defections from other political parties to the APC is legal. But if this were to be argued in court, does APC have a fault or a blame in all of this?
No.
Okay.
Because APC did not force, to my knowledge, force any member to come to its camp. If you choose to belong to a particular party, you were elected into a seat by a particular party, and you choose to leave the party and go to another party, you cannot blame the party you are going to. Yes, it's possible they would have made some
juicy offers?
Some offers to you, but you have the right to accept or reject.
Or decline.
Yes, so I don't think you cannot blame the political party for making an offer to you. So I don't think there's a reason why you blame the... And it has always been like that. Even when it was, when it was other parties, it was AD, APP, people in the camp, ADC, people have been decamping. Even from PDP, people have always come from PDP. Congress. It has always been either it depends on who the party that is in power. And all of these parties, so most of these persons, Gordon Akpabio, all of them were all members of PDP.
Of the PDP.
But today, because APC was the government in power as at last year and 2 years ago, some of them decamped.
Some decamping.
Yes, and decamped. Governor Akpabio, all of them, most of them, They were all members of PDP. So the campaign by politicians has become their lifestyle.
Now, there have been calls by this opposition party to sort of form a coalition or a merger, much like the APC was formed back in 2015, that brought in the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari to power. And now ending the 16-year stint of the People's Democratic Party in the presidential villa. Do you think that maybe there is a possibility ahead of 2027 of a possible merger between the Labour Party, headed by Peter Obi, and of course PDP, which has always had its neck chokehold by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and other, well-meaning opposition parties in the country ahead of 2027?
Now, everything is possible in politics.
Yeah.
So that's the first point. It's possible for them to have a merger. Peter Obi usually was a member of ABGA before he became PDP, and now is in Labour Party. So who tells you that they cannot go back to PDP? Who tells you that Labour Party cannot merge with PDP? So the possibility of merging of more political parties just to form a coalition to contest the power from APC is highly possible.
Now, I'll take a newspaper headline story, Barrister Giwa, and I'll come back to you. Let's take a look at the first newspaper in just a short while, coming up on your screen now. On the front cover of the first news, Lukman to OBJ, Gowon, IBB, GEJ, and Buhari. Opposition or former opposition party to defeat Tinubu in 2027. This is as he wants. Without unity, opposition will continue to play into APC's hands. Now, mind you, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, that's OBJ, was was former military head of state and then former president of the nation since inception of democracy in 1999 up until 2007. And of course, Gowon was military head of state, IBB, the same thing, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan as well, and of course, President Muhammadu Buhari, who toed the same part as OBJ, where he was once military head of state and then became, a civilian president in 2015, running up till President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in. So all of these persons are quite experienced and vast within Nigeria's political space, whether during the democratic era or during the military regime. They are all alive, they are well and hearty, their minds are sound, and they understand the polity. Does Nigeria really need saving from the APC? Considering that some of these persons listed here were part of the persons who formed the APC in the first place and are still members.
So does Nigeria need what? Saving?
Saving from the APC. Do we need to be saved from the All Progressives Congress at this point?
Well, from that question is a very dicey one, because that question is as good as saying, "Is the APC done well?"
Yeah, that's indirectly what I'm asking.
Yeah, because
has the APC done well?
Right now, I don't think the APC has done well. I don't think. Yeah, because there's no indices for me to rely on. In the contrary, what do I mean? Since APC government came into power during the time of Buhari, the time Buhari came into power, the dollar was 215 naira to a dollar.
Yes.
And I could remember very, very, very well, because I was in Sheraton Hotel when they were doing the swearing in. I was in Sheraton Hotel to do an exchange.
Yes.
So I can remember very graphically. I remember talking to those people in the Bureau de Change setting. And they were like, oh, they were shouting to Buhari and all of that. And it was so stable at 250. Buhari left dollar to be at 700 within 8 years. So it moved from 250, or not 250, 500, let's say 750.
750.
Yeah, so to 250 within 8 years. So it moved from 250 to 750. Tinubu is just less than 2 years. Dollar has moved from 750 to 1,650. It has tripled. So I mean,
in fact, in the black market, I think as at the last time we checked, it was somewhere around 1,745 naira to a dollar.
So with that alone, which is a very important ingredient in our national economy, the exchange rate, I can't tell anybody that APC has done well. Secondly, the prices of fuel. Nigerians, they say we are living in multidimensional poverty.
Yes.
And as I'm talking to you, before the coming of Tinubu, the prices of fuel was about 600. Now it is 1,000. I bought it yesterday for 1,070 naira. If not until recently, they increased minimum wage from 50 to 70. Just some 20% increment.
Yes.
But the price of fuel has increased 50%, more than
100%. I mean, it shot up from 100%. It's more than 1,000%.
Yes, and so
because it shot up from 197 naira per liter, as at the time President Muhammadu Buhari was leaving office, and then President Tinubu was being sworn in, and he declared a removal of subsidy. It went up to like 300 and something naira, and then it's currently over 1,000 naira.
Now, that is the cost of fuel.
Yes.
And
considering electricity tariff and all that things.
Let's even leave that.
Okay.
The question you will ask, I am asking, is, you don't work with the government. I don't think this station is.
Well, certainly not.
Okay, good. I don't know if there has been a corresponding increase in your salary. I don't know. That young man.
That's the private sector now.
That's for the private sector. That's what I'm saying. That's why I asked that you are not a government. I don't know if that over 40-50% of Nigerians who are living below the poverty lines, over 50% of Nigerians who are unemployed, if there has been anything to increase whatever income they have, to match with this increment in the amount, in the cost of fuel. So if you are not employed 3 years ago, now look at how bad the statistic is, and I want somebody to correct me. If as at 3 years ago I'm not employed, and I'm going to look for a job, and I enter my taxi, or I commute,
yes,
and they are buying fuel for 600. As at today, I am not employed. I have not gained any income. I have not received any income. The transporters, the commuters, the owners of cars will be paying for fuel for 1,500 naira. Exactly. Nothing has happened to me as an unemployed person. So you said I am poor 3 years ago. So you have improved my poverty because you have increased the cost of my commuting, and now nothing has increased in my life. So those are the issues, those are the factors that I have seen, and I cannot conclude by that the APC have done well.
Well, talking about food inflation, which is also part of the entire indices that we're trying to the scorecard we're trying to give to the APC now. I know it's been just about 18-19 months since inception of this administration, but let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper and probably have that figure of the food inflation, a 10-month food inflation trend. Okay. I will take it one after the other, Barrister Giwa. Now, in December of 2023, food inflation was at 33.93%. January, 33.95%. February, 35.41%. March, 37.92%, April 40.01%, May 40.53%. Notice how the trend goes higher. June 40.87%, July 39.53%, August 37.52%, September 37.77%, October 39.16%, and as at November 39.93%. Almost 40% food inflation as of November 2024. I know we are in December, and perhaps the figures for December have probably not come in, but I know you are a legal practitioner and not an economist, but with these figures, these percentages that we are seeing, it doesn't look good.
Of course it doesn't.
And the inflation continues to bite harder. Now, this is also as Nigerians continue to await the federal government's food import duty waiver that the president had promised Nigerians.
Yeah.
Again, I ask, has the APC done well for Nigerians, and do Nigerians need saving from the APC?
But you see, that is just, I've just given you the answer, that based on these statistics, based on these facts, you would see and you believe and you agree with me that the APC has not done well. And Nigeria will, of course, need a succor. Nigeria will need a deliverer. Nigeria will need a messiah. Nigeria will need somebody that can give direction. Nigeria can need somebody to redeem us from what we are right now.
Now, is that redeemer, that savior, that deliverer coming in form of a merger by these opposition parties viable?
I really don't know. APC is a political party. You can also see it's highly possible to see a person. I actually had some belief in President Tinubu when he came in, and just because of his antecedents, I thought he is going to come up with programs that can ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians. But from what we are seeing and from the facts,
no, we're seeing on ground.
From we are seeing on ground, I have not seen. I've not seen any direction yet of anything that seemed to be that we are going to be saved.
Not deviating too much from the issue of the defections. We have just about 5 minutes to wrap up this conversation, especially with the defections that happened in the Labour Party. Now, most Nigerians, especially supporters of the Labour Party, feel like these defectors or these guys that have jumped ships have sort of betrayed their trust. Now, not on the party level now, talking about the electorates themselves. Feel like their trust has been betrayed. Considering how inflation continues to bite harder on the backs of Nigerians, our GDP is staggering. The flotation of the naira has, made the value of our currency to dip quite drastically. And from all fronts, even the president has said that he knows that things are not quite well now, but we should give him time to stabilize the economy and that we must endure the sufferings now to get to better days. Yet we are seeing these defections from parties that were seen as the messiah parties. From these parties to the APC that many people or some Nigerians might feel like is not really doing well for them. Have these people really been betrayed by these defecting lawmakers?
Of course they have. Of course they have. Because the philosophy and the political culture, the political philosophy and culture of APC is different from that of
the Labour Party.
So there is no resemblance, there is no agreement, there's no commonality between anybody who was voted in by Labour Party or on the platform of Labour Party and that of the APC.
The APC.
So for the fact that if you move from PDP to APC, I will understand you. But we move from
because
Party,
it's almost like
it's almost bed of the same feather.
They're the same bandwagon.
Yeah. So, but if you move from Labour Party to any of the party, then there's something fundamentally wrong with your philosophy.
Now, in closing, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been one that has been described by his supporters and some other, independent observers as an all-inclusive government or administration.
Yeah.
The minister of the FCT, Barrister Nyesom Wike, is a staunch PDP stalwart, and now a very high-ranking minister within an APC administration. The recently appointed Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, a card-holding member of APGA, now appointed in the Tinubu-led administration, APC-led administration. Do you think that maybe if President Tinubu continues in this trend, it will create some sort of succor for these parties that feel like their members are being poached, considering that they will see it as a means of uniting Nigerians together irrespective of political divide?
Yes, I think the APC is making a lot of effort in winning some of the key politicians from other political parties. And I think the intention is to solidify their base. Well, the effect it will have on the political parties and their members is for now is something I cannot measure because, for example, I've never heard of Bianca, in Abga. She has never, to me, in my own assessment, a factor even in Anambra State.
Yes.
So now bringing her into the APC government, I don't know the kind of political electoral value
that will add to the political party.
Yes, it may bring in some sentiment, but in terms